I think you should go ahead and quickly just recap what we just discussed to bring everybody up to speed. Because I think we might as well just go ahead and do that. So.
I know, but you're videoing always. Anyway, whatever. Don't turn it sideways, otherwise when people watch it, it's gonna be like this, and it's gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be all weird. Anyway, just keep it always. Okay, so we mashed over our model.
Wait till we tell them what we're building first.
We're building a catamaran, and we need, for one hole,
What material are we using?
we need 10 4x8 sheets of, what, styrene insulation? That's what it's called?
Formular 250. Now, the difference between Formular 150 and Formula 250 is how much pressure it takes to actually dent it per square inch.
Okay, so
Formula 150 takes 15 pounds of pressure to dent the insulation. Formula 250 takes 25 pounds of pressure to dent it. And then you have different thicknesses. Now there is also a Formula 40, 60, and 100 respectively. That's 40 psi, 60 psi, and 1,000 psi. 1,000's super dense. I don't even know if the 1,000 is buoyant, but I do know the 250 is buoyant. So we are going to go to 250 because it's readily accessible and
then we're doing the quarter inch, right?
it's cheap.
And then we're doing a certain thickness.
The certain thickness is going to be the 2-inch because I found the 2-inch for like $15 a sheet out of upstate Ohio.
This is our design. And we have our cross beams in here.
They're not cross beams.
They're not cross beams.
Those are supports.
Supports in the middle. We're going to have our cabins in the middle. So we have 10 sheets of this, of our 4x8 sheets that we've cut up. These little parts here, we cut up from under here.
So basically what we did is we took some graph paper and we cut them into 4x8 sheets. So we then built it out of paper, partially built it out of paper. Now, we are not planning on using fiberglass for this boat.
Plan on using fabric and wood glue.
Yes, we're planning on using Tight Bond number 3 wood glue, which is supposed to be a waterproof. Now, the reviews that I've read say it's barely waterproof. It barely achieves that standard of waterproof. Well, and the recommendation is that you don't put this, or don't leave this in the water for long periods of time. Well, we're building a 24-foot boat. We're planning on using the foam insulation, something lightweight like bed sheets, and bamboo to lash the pontoon together, as well as a bamboo mast for the sail, if we can secure that. Sail material and the sheets or ropes, whatever you choose to call them if you're into sailing or not, and the rigging, all that will be extra, and that hasn't been factored in at this point in time. But anyway, we're looking at building a boat that weighs somewhere in the ballpark of, I think, 400 to 600 pounds. Each pontoon should be around 200 to 300 pounds for each pontoon is what we're ballpark guessing or estimating. Each pontoon should be able to be picked up by 4 people with relative ease, which means this 24-foot pontoon catamaran should be able to trailer on top of just about any car. You know, you probably want to add some supports for the roof of the car, or cradles for it to set in, then tie down the front, tie down the back, and then you're going to look a little funny driving down the road with that. But all together, a 24-foot catamaran that weighs around 600 pounds. I think it sounds pretty impressive, actually. Super, super lightweight. Now, the durability of this build method, I'm not sure. Maybe if we used a canvas instead of something as thin as bed sheets. But basically, let me explain the method real quick. We have canvas or bed sheets, but we put down the foam, we prepare the foam, we put a bunch of like little perforations in the foam, not completely through, but just through the edge. We clean the release agent off of it. We put the Titebond glue across the foam. We apply the fabric, then we apply what is called oops paint. And the oops paint is like $5 to $10 a gallon at Home Depot's or Lowe's. It's basically the reject paint where they couldn't get the color match correct. Then, so we paint over that. We paint over the fabric, let the fabric soak in the oops paint, which usually we're going to use an exterior paint for that, for the water resistant ability or waterproofing ability of the paint. And then we do that on the outside and the inside. Apparently they used to use this method before fiberglass came along, which made it super strong. So, anything else you want to add, John?
No. Oh yeah, we were thinking about putting the netting in between them.
Well, it's called a trampoline.
Well, yeah, that.
Well, you're going to want a deck, and then forward of the deck, you're going to want your trampoline in the front and possibly in the rear.
Yeah.
But if we do decking in the rear, then we can follow the Wharram design where the decking in the rear will actually drop off and fall down into the water for climbing up and down the boat, or climbing onto the boat or getting off the boat. Kind of like the idea of a sugar scoop, but instead it's a ladder that drops down. So now, anything else you've got to add? No. All right. Well, I'm glad this is all about boats and not being a gaming nerd.